So last night, I was messing around with the infrared camera. I looked out and I saw something. I just don't know what it was.
Right here. Right here. Can you see that? Can you see it? The heat tracker is right on it.
What in the heck is that?
Right there.
It looks like the outline of a body, and it kept going back to that, so clearly it was the warmest thing and it was focusing on that. It looked kind of human-ish, but I'm not prepared to say it was Bigfoot. I mean, I just don't know.
Looks like it's crouching down.
Those heat signature videos, they are really good evidence, because that could have been a Sasquatch right then and there. Is that where you saw something, Ashley?
I saw something crouching down right outside the trailer window.
The fact that the video came from Andrew taking it, that means a lot more than it coming from somebody else who has something to gain from that. So I was really surprised when I saw that.
I was like, there's no way.
Well, to be fair, what else could that be?
Bears don't sit in the bushes like that.
You know, it doesn't seem like a bear would sit there in that position for a while. And Todd did say that a Sasquatch would sit like that for an extended amount of time. But I think it's also important to note that people are seeing what they want to see.
So we're going out to see the tree breaks now, which is very exciting. If they are what Todd says they are, thick trees that have been broken very specifically, to me, that would be a good source of evidence.
This is the one that really impresses me. This is the big guy. This scares me.
It's really impressive. The idea that it takes so much specific force to break some of these trees, it's kind of hard to deny. When you look at it and you look at the way a tree normally breaks, and you look at the way that these are broken, it's weird, the good kind of weird.
This is an angry Sasquatch letting it be known. Whoever's coming down this trail, he's not happy about it. How? The strongest man in the world couldn't do that.
It's clear that a man probably couldn't do that, but I don't know what other factors to consider. This all has been a little bit overwhelming, so I want to go back into civilization. The type of person I am, I need the science behind it in order to go any further. Some of those tree breaks, the way that they were situated and how they looked, clearly a man did not do it. You know, I don't know what to think about what he said, and I never go off of one source.
I appreciate your skepticism, and I think it's important when we're trying to get to the bottom of something. What's your next stop?
So I am headed to go talk to Dr. Jeff Meldrum. He will give a very badly needed science angle to this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go meet with Jason Roberts, a Native American, and he has a sound recording.
So it's a sound recording of
a call, I believe. Yeah, which it's pretty close to home to me. So I'm pretty excited to hear that. We'll see what happens.
I've come to Idaho State University to meet with Dr. Jeff Meldrum. Not only is he an expert on primates and anthropology, but he has a very strong interest in Bigfoot.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Oh my, this is quite a place.
Well, when I was a youngster in Spokane, Washington, that happened to be the premier public showing of the Patterson-Gimlin film. It really captured my imagination and made a lasting impression on me. I'm always getting samples submitted from investigators or researchers or curious individuals. And this is one that just recently came from Washington. Chimps, humans, other primates have a very distinctive kind of hair. We don't have fur, we have hair. Something's out there shedding hair that we can't readily attribute to other forms of wildlife.
I've been very suspect of the claims that Todd's made of Bigfoot's existence, but Dr. Meldrum seems to have proof that an unidentified creature could be out there.
Here's just a few examples of some replicas of casts. This one actually comes from the Patterson-Gimlin film site.
Is this indicative of a female Sasquatch, how there's this arch-looking?
No, actually, this is sometimes mistaken as being equivalent to the human arch, but it's quite distinctive. Instead, it's a pressure ridge that marks a degree of flexibility in the foot.
And so this sort of formation is prevalent in the primate community?
It is. I mean, that midfoot flexibility is a legacy of the adaptation of apes for climbing up vertical supports like tree trunks and branches.
Well, I am really blown away by the size of this because
Yes.
if you take, my sleeve length is 34 inches.
Right.
And I'm not a small woman, I'm 6 feet tall. So if you take this, it really shows how large it is.
Absolutely.
The Native Americans have a long oral history with the Sasquatch. So to learn more about that tradition, I am actually meeting with a member of the Macaw tribe from northern Washington, Jason Roberts. Jason is a cryptozoologist and an audio engineer, and he claims to have an audio recording that he thinks is a Sasquatch.
My whole life I've heard stories and legends of Sasquatch, in our culture. I come from the Macaw tribe. We're at the northwest tip of the continental United States. It's a very remote location.
Now, you brought some audio examples that you believe are Sasquatch. I am dying to hear those.
And the first one is from Harriet Castle, who's a Macaw elder.
So a few years ago, you had recorded a sound that could possibly be a Sasquatch sound?
Yes, I had come up with the Lutheran ministers with my truck to dump a load of garbage for them when we heard this weird, loud noise. And they got scared. They went and dumped their trash and left me. So here's the sound I heard. It starts throwing big rocks. These are the size of basketballs. And then you could hear it beating on a tree. And everybody tried telling me it sounded like a coyote, but coyotes don't throw rocks and they don't knock down trees.
Wow, it's so echoey and yet deep at the same time. It's just got kind of this omnipresence to it. The lungs that must be able to project something like that must be enormous.
Now, Dr. Meldrum, you're clearly familiar with the videos and the stills that Todd Standing has taken, and I'd love to go through those with you in person.
Sure, that would be great. So here's one that I've always found intriguing.
So the agility of that creature suggests it can't be a human in a suit.
Well, yeah, that incline and the nature of the surface there, the fact that it bolts up that stark upright, not using its hands for support, especially when encumbered with a suit, I would assume, that speaks to its authenticity, I think.
Dr. Meldrum, you're familiar with the Blinky images, correct?
Yes.
The creature Todd calls Jake.
Yes, I am. It's not exactly what I would have expected for a Sasquatch.
Really?
The lower face is kind of small, at least as portrayed in the Patterson-Gimlin film. I mean, the distance between the nose and the mouth is remarkably narrow. The jury's still out for me, I have to say. In fact, all of these facial stills leave me with reservations.
Dr. Meldrum was very diplomatic. While he was intrigued with one of Todd's videos, he did confirm my suspicions about Jake and Jane. Hi, Christina, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Christina Lynn is a wildlife biologist with boots on the ground experience throughout the Pacific Northwest. So the recording that I sent you, and I want to bring it up so we can listen to it again, that was supposedly captured on the Olympic Peninsula.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that after listening to it?
So my thoughts on this, initial reaction is that this didn't sound canine, but when you listen and you really start to hear in that second vocalization, what's sort of cluing me in that it is more likely to be something like a coyote is a few yips and barks might have been like an animal in pain or an event in an animal's life that's a little bit out of the usual. At an animal sanctuary, I was working hands-on, listening to them all day, sometimes all night, and interpreting this kind of language. So I believe that this is a coyote vocalization that we're hearing.
So there's another question that's been bothering me. The video I sent you was taken when I was in British Columbia, and the reason I was given for the tree breaks was that a large, powerful creature of some sort had caused those. What are your thoughts on that?
I've been to this area of British Columbia extensively. There was actually a study done in Europe. Trees are going to consistently break at a certain wind speed. It also can be structural issues within the tree itself that are leading it to break in that way. Pine beetle that infests the trees there, so there could be damage by insects within the tree that you aren't seeing on the outside. So this would explain why only some of the trees are snapped and the other ones are still standing. So I'm likely to believe that this was the cause of a natural weather event or other natural factors.
Thank you for the insight you're able to give me, and thank you so much for your time and expertise. When I was talking to Dr. Meldrum, even he had reservations about Todd's videos of Jake and Jane. So I wanted to come here to see what it takes to actually fake a Bigfoot. Kenneth Hall is an effects artist who works in Hollywood and over the decades has made a number of Bigfoot costumes for TV, film, and commercials.
I've been in the industry for over 35 years. We have done some creatures. We've done actually 2 Bigfoots in a Yeti costume. Have you guys seen the Patterson-Gimlin film?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people in my industry that constantly argue about exactly how it was done or whether it's real or not. And these are Hollywood professionals. This stuff, on the other hand, is a little more crude. I'm sorry, it's a mask.
What makes you so sure about that?
I've seen other clips of this mask. I mean, they probably reworked it at some point to look a little different.
Is it a mask like somebody would put over their head or a prosthesis with things put over it?
If it was a foam latex or silicone prosthetic, he could move his cheeks, open his mouth. I would say this is pretty much a pullover mask.
Is there anything about this footage that you think looks real? You know, might convince you that this is actually a Sasquatch?
Well, no, because of the assertion that this was shot from a long distance away. This is too clean of a shot. And why aren't we seeing any more of the creature? This female looks so monumentally different from the male. The nose is flat. There's no brow, there's no eyelid, there's so little movement in this face, I don't even think it's being worn by a person. This is a dummy head that is being shaken very gently to give the appearance of life.
I was surprised that Kenneth immediately was able to look at this footage and say without a doubt he thought it was fake. And it didn't seem like one bit of any of the videos I showed him swayed him to the other direction.
I really have to ask, are we being greedy here with this particular footage? We wanted close-ups, we got close-ups. We wanted footage of it moving, we have footage of it moving. That is a living, breathing creature. It may not be a Bigfoot, but it's something.